Once upon a time, in a magical land above the clouds, there was a small, fluffy cloud named Nimbus. Nimbus was different from the other clouds. While the other clouds loved to roll through the sky, bringing rain to the earth below, Nimbus was always afraid of storming. Nimbus had heard the older clouds talk about the powerful storms they could create, and though they were necessary to bring rain to the villages below, Nimbus had always feared the loud rumbling thunder and the fierce winds. Nimbus was small and gentle, preferring to float peacefully in the sky, far from the chaos of a storm. But despite Nimbus's quiet nature, the other clouds often encouraged it to be brave, telling Nimbus that even a small cloud like them had an important role to play. One day, the weather took a turn for the worse. The village below had been experiencing a long drought, and the crops were beginning to wither. The villagers prayed for rain, but no clouds seemed to be willing to help. The old, wise cloud, Stormbringer, had seen the villages struggle and decided it was time for a big storm to arrive and bring relief. As Stormbringer gathered the other clouds to form a mighty storm, Nimbus could feel the nervousness building inside. The loud thunder, the gusty winds, it was too much. "I can't do it," Nimbus whispered to itself. "I'm too small. I can't make a big storm like the others." But Stormbringer, seeing Nimbus's hesitation, floated down to Nimbus and said, "Nimbus, every cloud has its purpose. You may be small, but you have a great heart. The village needs us. We need to work together." Nimbus was still afraid, but as the other clouds began to form a massive storm above the village, Nimbus realized it couldn't let the villagers suffer. The crops were dying, and the people were losing hope. With a deep breath, Nimbus decided to join the other clouds, though fear still tugged at its little heart. As Nimbus moved closer to Stormbringer, the large cloud gave a reassuring smile. "Don't be afraid, Nimbus. We are all in this together. You'll see, your small raindrops will make a big difference." And so, Nimbus took its place in the sky, gathering the courage to join the storm. At first, it was unsure, trembling at the sound of the distant thunder. But as the wind picked up, Nimbus began to feel the power of the storm. It wasn't just the large clouds that made the rain, it was the teamwork of all the clouds coming together. Slowly but surely, Nimbus began to let go of its fear. It started to rain, gently at first, and then, as it grew more confident, Nimbus joined the other clouds in pouring down a steady stream of rain. The drops fell softly onto the thirsty earth below, bringing much-needed water to the crops. The villagers looked up in awe as the rain began to soak into the soil, reviving the plants. The crops perked up, the rivers began to flow, and the dry land slowly turned green again. As the storm passed, leaving behind the sweet smell of rain in the air, Nimbus looked down at the village, its heart swelling with pride. "You did it, Nimbus," cheered Stormbringer. "You helped bring the rain, and now the village is saved." Nimbus beamed with happiness. It had faced its fear and realized that, just like the other clouds, it too had the power to make a difference, no matter how small it seemed. Nimbus's bravery had brought the rain that saved the crops and brought life back to the land. From that day on, Nimbus was no longer afraid of storming. It had learned that sometimes, even the smallest of clouds can make the biggest difference, and that courage is not about being the biggest or the strongest but about facing your fears and doing what is needed for others. And so, Nimbus continued to float through the sky, knowing that every time it helped create rain, it was not just making a storm, it was making a difference. Moral of the story: courage comes from doing what needs to be done, even when you are scared. No matter how small you are, you can still make a big difference by helping others and being part of something bigger. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated.